Hi, welcome to the Sew Along 2018 with GourmetQuilter again. So we're doing really well. We've done several blocks already, and this time we're going to be working on block 7, which is pretty amazing that we've got this far so soon. So I've got the block sitting up here on this board that you can see. I've made one. We're making 2 of each block. So I'm just going to run through how we go about making that block. So there's nothing terribly hard about it. We've done most of this sort of thing before. In block 2 we made some half square triangles and we trimmed off some extra pieces that we weren't needing for these blocks, and I've put them to one side. And so I've already gone ahead and made my half square triangles because we now know how to make those. So they're already made, but we need to do a little extra something. If you look on this block that's over on the board over here, you'll see I've got a nice green, what was a half square, but I've got a little red corner on it there. Well, we're just going to put those corners on now. So my colours are a little bit back to front with this other block because I've got the red as the larger colour where the green was on the one at the sample there, and we're going to make a little green corner. So to do that, on the half square triangle we've got some small green pieces that we've cut according to the notes on the pattern sheet, and we're going to draw a line again with a mechanical pencil or a pencil or something on the back of the square diagonally, and we're going to place that on top of the red one. Well, in this case it's red, it won't always be red. And we're going to stitch right along that line now there, so that when we flip that over we've got a nice little corner sitting on top there. So I'll go ahead and do that little bit of stitching so that you can see how that's all going to work. So I'll just go to the machine and do these. We can chain piece these through just as we do. And this is a nice little block to make with these little corners on it. Just smartens up a little plainer block. And we'll put the next one through. And I've actually already done the other 2, so we'll go ahead, snip those apart. And so now we're going to just trim off this little tiny corner here, and probably not a piece worth saving in my opinion, depending on what you do of course. So I'm just 1/4 of an inch away from that seam, like we do when we cut the half square triangles. And I'll do all of them while I'm here, and then we'll get them all pressed. So I've actually already done one completed. I had already trimmed it off and I've pressed it over so that you can see that this is what we're going to get, a nice sort of strip and then the corner. So it kind of looks like it's a harder block to make than it actually is, and that's always a good thing. Everybody doesn't have to know that it's really not that hard. So I'm pressing these into the coloured triangles. And one more. So now I've got my 4 little corners, and they're going to be sitting something like that when they're in their block. But we've also got to make the centre square. So the centre square is just a little square in the middle with a surround colour around it. So nothing terribly hard about that. The notes tell you how to cut everything out. So we've just got the square here. We've got to put a strip either side, and then we're going to put a longer one top and bottom. So I'll go ahead and get that square ready, and then we'll put the block together. So the 2 little sides on, so I'm just going to press those now, and then I'm going to sew the 2 longer sides on. So I've just got these to go. Okay, so I've got those on, and now I'm just going to press those seams, and we've made our little centre square. So that's looking pretty good. That's going to sit in the middle there, and then we've got our plain squares that we've already cut out, our background that sit in between, and really it's now back to just being a straightforward 9 patch. So I'm just going to join them in rows of 3 and then join those rows up. So when I've got all that together, I'll show you the finished block. Join my little rows of 3 together, and I'm just pressing the seam now away from the pieced one. So because these bulky seams want to go that way, it's much easier not to fight with them. And just press them into the background. And then so this, the top and the bottom row the same. And then because we want the seams to alternate where they meet with the centre row, instead of them going, and they naturally want to go the other way anyway, so that's kind of good, we're going to press that seam towards the outside square rather than the centre square. And so now I've got my block ready to join up into the block, so I'll go ahead and do that. So just make sure the seams nestle together so that it all sits nicely at the corners. So the last seam for the block. It's so exciting getting all these blocks done. They're coming up so nicely in these fabrics. So now I'm ready to press the block, and that'll be block 7 finished. Remember, we're making 2 of each block. So this will be my second one. I'm pressing these seams in towards the centre as well. Where there's triangles and there's angled corners, quite often it's easier to press so that they just sit more comfortably. And there we have both our blocks done. So I'm pretty pleased with block 7. How are you going? And we'll see you again shortly with block 8. Thank you.